What is the next prime number greater than 90? 97. A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that has no positive divisors other than 1 and itself. To determine the next prime number after 90, one systematically checks subsequent integers for divisibility. 97 is the first number encountered that satisfies the prime number definition, as it is only divisible by 1 and 97. What was the name of the two-wheeled cart used during the French Revolution to transport prisoners to the guillotine? Tumbrel. During the tumultuous period of the French Revolution, particularly the Reign of Terror, a tumbrel was an open two-wheeled cart frequently employed to transport condemned prisoners from their cells to the guillotine. This term, originally referring to a type of farm cart, became synonymous with the grim procession of those awaiting execution. What is the seven-letter name for the light, three-wheeled vehicle with pedals used in Southeast Asia to carry typically two passengers? Trishaw. A trishaw, also known as a cycle rickshaw or pedicab, is a three-wheeled vehicle propelled by a human pedaler, designed to carry passengers, often two. Widely prevalent in various parts of Southeast Asia, it serves as a common and economical mode of short-distance transport and is also popular for local tourism. What is the eight-letter name for the ringing, hissing, or booming sensation in one or both ears, often caused by infection of the middle or inner ear? Tinnitus. Tinnitus refers to the perception of noise or ringing in the ears when no external sound is present. This condition is often a symptom of an underlying health issue, such as age-related hearing loss, ear injury, or a circulatory system disorder, and can significantly impact an individual's quality of life. What two-word hyphenated term is used to describe the contagious, epidemic form of acute conjunctivitis, named for the color of the inflammation? Pink eye. Acute conjunctivitis is an inflammation of the conjunctiva, the membrane lining the eyelid and covering the white part of the eye. It is highly contagious and often referred to as pink eye, due to the characteristic redness and irritation it causes. Which famous author, born in Sandymount, County Dublin in 1865, won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923? W. B. Yeats. William Butler Yeats, W. B. Yeats, was an Irish poet and one of the foremost figures of 20th century literature. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923 for his always inspired poetry, which in a highly artistic form gives expression to the spirit of a whole nation. Which famous author, born in Dublin in 1856, won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1925? George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw, an Irish playwright, critic, and political activist, was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925 for his work that is marked by both idealism and humanity, its stimulating satire often being infused with a singular poetic beauty. His notable works include Pygmalion and Man and Superman. In 1997, the European Commission banned the sale of which two-word named food item due to fears of food poisoning, whose name is actually a type of lizardfish? Bombay duck. Bombay duck, despite its name, is not a duck but a type of lizardfish, Harpdon nehereus, found in the Indo-Pacific region. Its sale was banned by the European Commission in 1997 due to concerns over hygiene standards in processing, though the ban was later partially lifted with new import regulations. A 105-minute tour, commencing nightly at 7:30 p.m. from Aldgate East Station in London and journeying through streets such as Osborne and Gunthorpe, is attributed to which famous London figure? Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is the best-known name given to an unidentified serial killer who was active in the largely impoverished areas in and around the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. Numerous tours in London explore the sites associated with these historical murders, focusing on the social history of the East End. Who served as the editor of the News of the World newspaper at the time of its closure? Colin Myler. The News of the World, a British national tabloid newspaper, ceased publication in July 2011 after 168 years, following revelations of widespread phone hacking by its staff. Colin Myler was the editor at the time of its controversial closure, a major event in UK media history. Which village in Lincolnshire serves as the home base for the aerobatic display team, the Red Arrows? Scampton. RAF Scampton in Lincolnshire is a historic Royal Air Force station. It is famously known as the home of the Red Arrows, the Royal Air Force's aerobatic team, who are renowned globally for their precision displays. The base has a rich history, including its role in World War II. Cordoba is the second most populous city in which country? Argentina. Cordoba is a major city in Argentina, serving as the capital of Cordoba province. It is recognized as the second most populous city in the country after the capital, Buenos Aires. The city is an important cultural, economic, and educational center in Argentina. Which town in southern England serves as the headquarters for the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, RNLI? Poole. Poole, a large coastal town in Dorset, southern England, is home to the headquarters of the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, RNLI. The RNLI is a charitable organization dedicated to saving lives at sea around the coasts of the UK, Ireland, the Channel Islands, and the Isle of Man, operating lifeboat stations and a flood rescue service. Philippa of Hainaut was the wife of which English monarch? Edward III. Philippa of Hainaut was Queen of England as the wife of King Edward III. Her marriage to Edward III in 1328 significantly contributed to the Plantagenet dynasty's stability and influence. She was known for her wisdom, compassion, and political acumen, often acting as regent during her husband's absences. Puente Alto is the second most highly populated city of which country? Chile. Puente Alto is a major commune and city in Chile, located in the Santiago metropolitan region. Its significant population makes it one of the most populous urban centers in the country, highlighting its demographic importance within Chilean geography. Hydrogen carbonate is the molecular formula for which acid? Carbonic acid. Carbonic acid, H2CO3, is a weak acid formed when carbon dioxide dissolves in water. It plays a crucial role in biological systems, such as in the bicarbonate buffer system that regulates blood pH, and in geological processes like the weathering of rocks. Hydrogen nitrate is the molecular formula for which acid? Nitric acid. Nitric acid, HNO3, is a highly corrosive mineral acid. It is a strong oxidizing agent and is widely used in the production of fertilizer, explosives, and in various industrial processes. In which traditional Spanish ballroom dance, whose name translates as double step, is the man represented as a matador and the woman his cape? Paso Doble. The Paso Doble is a lively and theatrical Spanish ballroom dance with a strong, march-like character. It dramatically reenacts the bullfight, with the male dancer portraying the matador and the female dancer embodying the cape, embodying the passion and drama of the arena. What 9-letter word is given to the art of carving or incising intricate designs on whale bones or whale ivory? Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw is the art of carving or incising designs onto whalebone or whale ivory, traditionally practiced by whalers during long voyages. This folk art developed in the 18th and 19th centuries, reflecting nautical themes and personal narratives. What 8-letter word is given to delicate and intricate ornamental work made from gold, silver, or other fine, twisted wire? Filigree. Filigree is an intricate art form involving delicate ornamental work made from fine, twisted metal wires, typically gold or silver. It is a traditional jewelry making technique, often used for decorative purposes or to create open-work patterns. Which French port was the first port of call for the ill-fated ship the Titanic after it had left Southampton on April 10, 1912? Cherbourg. After departing Southampton on April 10, 1912, the RMS Titanic's first scheduled stop was Cherbourg, France, to pick up additional passengers. This port was crucial for its transatlantic voyage before heading to Queenstown, now Cobb, Ireland. On the morning of April 11, 1912, the ill-fated ship the Titanic made its last scheduled stop in Europe at which Irish venue? Queenstown. On April 11, 1912, the RMS Titanic made its final European stop at Queenstown, now Cobb, Ireland, where it boarded its last passengers before embarking on its ill-fated transatlantic journey. This was its last port of call before disaster struck. Which Italian foodstuff, comprising dumplings made of flour, semolina, or potatoes, boiled or baked and served with grated cheese or sauce, takes its name from the Italian for knock on wood? Gnocchi. Gnocchi are traditional Italian dumplings made from flour, semolina, or potatoes, typically boiled or baked and served with various sauces or grated cheese. The name, gnocchi, is believed to derive from the Italian word, noccio, meaning a knot in wood, possibly referring to their shape. Which European capital city is served by Henry Coandă Airport? Bucharest. Henry Coandă International Airport is the largest and busiest airport in Romania, serving its capital city, Bucharest. It is named after Henry Coandă, a pioneering Romanian inventor and aerodynamicist. Which African bird is famous for its ability to walk up to 20 miles a day and also for its ability to kill snakes by stamping on them with its large feet? Secretary bird. The secretary bird is a large, terrestrial bird of prey native to Africa, known for its distinctive crest of long black feathers resembling quill pens tucked behind its ears. It is famous for its unique hunting method of stomping on prey, particularly snakes, with its long, powerful legs. What was the money currency of the country of Croatia? Kuna. The kuna was the currency of Croatia from 1994 until January 1, 2023, when it was replaced by the euro upon Croatia's adoption of the single European currency. Its name, kuna, means marten in Croatian, referring to the historical use of marten pelts for trade. Which American cartoonist created the popular 1931 comic strip Dick Tracy? Chester Gould. Chester Gould was an influential American cartoonist, best known for creating the detective comic strip Dick Tracy in 1931. The strip was celebrated for its innovative storytelling and distinctive art style, significantly impacting the history of comics. In Roman mythology, if Mars was the god of war, who was his Greek equivalent? Ares. Mars is the Roman god of war, equivalent to the Greek god Ares. Both deities personify the brutal and destructive aspects of warfare, reflecting their respective cultures' martial traditions. Which European capital city is served by Václav Havel Airport? Prague. Václav Havel Airport is the international airport of Prague, the capital city of the Czech Republic. It was renamed in 2012 to honor Václav Havel, the last president of Czechoslovakia and the first president of the Czech Republic, recognizing his significant role in the nation's history. In Roman mythology, if Vulcan was the god of fire, who was his Greek equivalent? Hephaestus. Vulcan is the Roman god of fire, volcanoes, metalworking, and craftsmanship, corresponding to the Greek god Hephaestus. Both deities were renowned for their skill as smiths and artisans, despite often being depicted with physical disabilities. What is the currency of Hungary? Forint. The forint is the official currency of Hungary. Its name dates back to the florin, a gold coin first minted in Florence in 1252, and it has been the currency of Hungary in its modern form since 1946. Which American cartoonist created the popular 1934 comic strip Flash Gordon? Alex Raymond. Alex Raymond was a prominent American cartoonist, celebrated for creating the iconic science fiction comic strip Flash Gordon in 1934. The strip's distinctive artwork and adventurous narrative significantly influenced subsequent science fiction and comic art. Who was executed in 1955 at Holloway Prison for the murder of racing driver David Blakely? Ruth Ellis. Ruth Ellis was the last woman to be executed in the United Kingdom, hanged at Holloway Prison in 1955 for the murder of her lover, David Blakely. Her case sparked considerable public debate and contributed to the eventual abolition of capital punishment in Britain in 1965. Who was executed in 1953 at Wandsworth Prison for the murder of police constable Sidney Miles? Derek Bentley. Derek Bentley was controversially executed in 1953 at Wandsworth Prison for his alleged involvement in the murder of police constable Sidney Miles, despite not firing the fatal shot. His case, marked by the infamous phrase, "Let him have it, Chris," became a landmark in British legal history and contributed significantly to the debate against capital punishment, leading to a posthumous pardon in 1998. Which five-letter word of Japanese origin means, roll call, and was used every morning in Japanese internment camps during World War II? Tenko. Tenko is a Japanese term meaning, roll call. It gained historical significance during World War II, specifically in the context of Japanese internment camps in the US and Canada, where it was a daily ritual for accounting for prisoners. This word reflects the disciplinary practices and the daily life within these camps. Which 1972 novel by Frederick Forsyth tells the story of Peter Miller, a young German crime reporter attempting to find an SS concentration camp commander who had killed his father? The Odessa File. The Odessa File is a 1972 thriller novel by Frederick Forsyth, which explores the post-World War II hunt for former SS members. The story follows a journalist's quest to uncover a clandestine organization protecting Nazi war criminals. The novel highlights the lingering impact of Nazi war crimes and the efforts to bring perpetrators to justice after the war. Which six-letter word of Japanese origin means, 10,000 years of life, although foreigners often confuse it with a war cry referring to human wave attacks? Banzai. Banzai is a Japanese exclamation wishing 10,000 years of life, traditionally shouted as a cheer or a salute, often directed at the emperor. During World War II, it was frequently misinterpreted by Allied forces as a war cry associated with desperate charges or human wave attacks by Japanese soldiers. Its true meaning reflects a deeply ingrained cultural expression of longevity and loyalty. Which 1974 novel by Frederick Forsyth features a small group of African and European mercenary soldiers hired by a British industrialist to depose the government of the fictional African country of Zangaro? The Dogs of War. The Dogs of War is a 1974 novel by Frederick Forsyth, set against the backdrop of post-colonial African political instability. It details a plot by a British industrialist to overthrow the government of a fictional African nation using mercenary soldiers. The novel explores themes of international intrigue, resource exploitation, and the often shadowy role of private military contractors in geopolitical conflicts. Donald Tusk is the current Prime Minister of which country? Poland. Donald Tusk is a prominent Polish politician who has served as Prime Minister of Poland multiple times and also as President of the European Council. His leadership is significant for understanding contemporary Polish and European politics, particularly concerning EU relations and domestic reforms. He returned to the premiership in late 2023. Viktor Orban is the current Prime Minister of which country? Hungary. Viktor Orban is a long-serving Prime Minister of Hungary and leader of the Fidesz party. He is known for his national conservative and populist policies, often described as promoting a liberal democracy. His tenure has significantly shaped Hungary's political landscape and its relationship with the European Union. In which year was corporal punishment officially banned in British state schools? 1986. Corporal punishment in British state schools was officially banned in 1986 in England and Wales. This landmark decision reflected evolving societal views on child welfare and discipline, aligning with international human rights standards. What was the famous two-word title given to Henry Stuart, who was King Consort of Scotland between 1565 and 1567 and was married to Mary Queen of Scots? Lord Darnley. Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, was the second husband of Mary, Queen of Scots, and held the title of King Consort. Their tumultuous marriage and his controversial murder in 1567 played a significant role in Scottish history and Mary's eventual downfall. Originally called the National Council for the Unmarried Mother and Her Child, when first established in 1918, what is the current 11-letter name of this charity, which is the principal charity in the UK for one-parent families? Gingerbread. Gingerbread, originally established in 1918 as the National Council for the Unmarried Mother and Her Child, is the leading UK charity supporting single-parent families. It advocates for policy changes and provides practical support to improve the lives of single-parent households. Published in 1968, what was the four-word title of the autobiography of the gay icon Quentin Crisp? The Naked Civil Servant. The Naked Civil Servant is the influential 1968 autobiography of Quentin Crisp, an English writer and raconteur. The book candidly detailed his life as an openly gay man in London during a time when homosexuality was largely criminalized and stigmatized, making it a significant work in LGBTQ+ literature and social history. Who was the victorious commander in the conflict known as the Battle of Santa Clara, which lasted from December 28, 1958, till January 1, 1959, and who died on October 9, 1967, aged 39? Che Guevara. Che Guevara was the victorious commander in the Battle of Santa Clara, a pivotal engagement during the Cuban Revolution, 1958-1959. His strategic leadership in this battle led to the capture of the city and significantly contributed to the collapse of the Batista regime, making him a renowned figure in revolutionary history. Who was the victorious leader in the conflict known as the Battle of Washita River, which took place on November 27, 1868, and who died on June 25, 1876, aged 36? George Custer. George Custer was the victorious leader of the 7th U.S. Cavalry in the Battle of Washita River in 1868, a controversial attack on a Cheyenne encampment led by Chief Black Kettle. This event is a significant, albeit dark, chapter in the history of the American Indian Wars. What type of creatures, native to Africa and Asia, have several different types, including olive, yellow, chekma, and hamadryas? Baboon. Baboons are Old World monkeys native to Africa and Arabia, recognized for their distinctive dog-like muzzles and strong jaws. They live in hierarchical groups and are known for their intelligence and adaptability across various habitats. What was the famous four-word nickname given to Edward I of England, also known as Edward Longshanks? Hammer of the Scots. Edward I of England, reigned 1272 to 1307, was a powerful monarch known for his military campaigns, particularly against Scotland. His nickname, Hammer of the Scots, reflects his relentless efforts to assert English dominance over Scotland during his reign. In the human body, what seven-letter word describes the loss of the sense of taste? Agesia. Agesia is the medical term for the complete loss of the sense of taste, meaning an individual cannot detect any tastes like sweet, sour, bitter, salty, or umami. It can be caused by various factors, including neurological disorders, medications, or infections. Sebastián Pinera, at 63 years old, was the president of which South American country? Chile. Sebastián Pinera served 2 non-consecutive terms as president of Chile, from 2010 to 2014 and again from 2018 to 2022. He is a prominent businessman and politician, known for his conservative economic policies. Introduced in 1977, what is the name of the UK scheme that enables disabled people, their families, and carers to lease a new car, scooter, or powered wheelchair using their government-funded allowance? Motability. The Motability scheme in the UK helps disabled people lease a new car, scooter, or powered wheelchair by exchanging their mobility allowance. Established in 1977, it aims to enhance the independence and accessibility for individuals with disabilities. Long Walk to Freedom, published in 1995, was the autobiography of which famous political figure? Nelson Mandela. Long Walk to Freedom is the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, the anti-apartheid revolutionary and former president of South Africa. The book details his life, education, 27 years in prison, and his struggle against apartheid, culminating in his efforts to rebuild South Africa as a multiracial democracy. Which is the oldest of the 31 colleges of the University of Cambridge? Peterhouse. Peterhouse is the oldest constituent college of the University of Cambridge, founded in 1284 by Hugh de Balsham, Bishop of Ely. It is known for its architectural beauty and academic tradition, contributing to Cambridge's long-standing reputation as a world-leading university. Which is the oldest of the 38 colleges of the University of Oxford? University College. University College, commonly known as UNIV, is widely considered the oldest college of the University of Oxford, with a traditional founding date of 1249. While its exact founding year is debated, it predates many other colleges and plays a significant role in Oxford's rich history. What is the name of the former UK cabinet minister who, in March 2013, was jailed along with his ex-wife Vicky Pryce after she agreed to take his speeding points to avoid him losing his driving license? Chris Huhne. Chris Huhne was a prominent Liberal Democrat politician and former Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change in the UK. He was jailed in 2013 for perverting the course of justice, stemming from his ex-wife admitting to taking his speeding penalty points a decade earlier. This case highlighted issues of political accountability and legal ethics. In which English county is the source of the River Trent? Staffordshire. The River Trent is one of England's major rivers, flowing approximately 185 miles, 298 kilometers, through the Midlands. Its source is in Staffordshire, near Biddulph Moor, and it eventually joins the River Ouse to form the Humber estuary. Which British poet, who died in 1850, created works such as An Evening Walk, in 1793, Upon Westminster Bridge, in 1802, and The Wagoner, in 1818? William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was a major English Romantic poet, who, with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, helped to launch the Romantic Age in English literature with their joint publication Lyrical Ballads, 1798. He is remembered for his profound connection to nature and his reflective lyrical style. In relation to building construction, what initialism is commonly given to a steel beam, especially one with a cross-section in the form of a letter H or I? RSJ, Rolled Steel Joist. RSJ stands for Rolled Steel Joist, a type of steel beam widely used in construction to support floors and roofs. These beams are known for their high strength-to-weight ratio and are crucial in creating robust structural frameworks, often having H or I-shaped cross-sections for optimal load bearing. Which plant, known by a three-word name, is commonly believed to be useful in treating mild depression, nervous disorders, and historically, bedwetting? St. John's wort. St. John's wort, Hypericum perforatum, is a herbaceous plant primarily recognized for its use in treating mild to moderate depression. Its active compounds, such as hyperforin and hypericin, are thought to influence neurotransmitters in the brain. However, it can interact with several medications and should be used under medical supervision. In which year of the 20th century did the Iranian embassy siege occur in London? 1980. The Iranian embassy siege took place in London from April 30 to May 5, 1980, when 6 armed men took 26 people hostage at the Iranian embassy. The siege ended dramatically when the Special Air Service (SAS) stormed the building, rescuing all but one hostage and killing 5 of the 6 terrorists. This event highlighted the growing threat of international terrorism and the capabilities of counterterrorism units. First appearing in the book of Exodus, what was the name of the sister of Moses who hid the baby Moses by the side of a river to await Pharaoh's order that all newborn Hebrew boys were to be killed? Miriam. Miriam was the elder sister of Moses and Aaron, playing a pivotal role in saving her infant brother Moses from Pharaoh's decree. She is revered as a prophetess and singer in the Hebrew Bible, a significant figure in early Israelite history. Former British surgeon Andrew Wakefield became famous in 1998 with his publication of his research paper which claimed that the MMR vaccine was linked with which human condition? Autism. In 1998, Andrew Wakefield's controversial paper, claiming a link between the MMR vaccine and autism, was published. This study was later retracted and widely debunked, but it fueled a significant anti-vaccination movement and eroded public trust in vaccines. Which year of the 20th century saw the Chernobyl disaster? 1986. The Chernobyl disaster, a catastrophic nuclear accident, occurred on April 26, 1986, at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union. It remains one of the worst man-made environmental disasters in history, leading to extensive radioactive contamination. The IP series file, published in 1962, was the very first novel for which British author? Len Deighton. The IP series file, published in 1962, was the debut novel by British author Len Deighton, introducing the iconic secret agent Harry Palmer. This espionage thriller was celebrated for its gritty realism and cynical tone, contrasting with more glamorous spy narratives of the era. Who was British Prime Minister on the day the Great Train Robbery took place? Harold Macmillan. Harold Macmillan served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom when the notorious Great Train Robbery occurred on August 8, 1963. A prominent conservative politician, Macmillan led the country from 1957 to 1963, a period of post-war recovery and social change. Who was British Prime Minister on the day Roger Bannister ran the first 4-minute mile? Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill served as British Prime Minister from 1951 to 1955 during his second term. Roger Bannister achieved the first sub-4-minute mile on May 6, 1954, making Churchill the PM at that significant historical moment. Which prominent English architect was responsible for designing the Eden Project and the National Space Centre in Leicester? Nicholas Grimshaw. Sir Nicholas Grimshaw is a renowned British architect known for his high-tech architectural style. He designed the Eden Project in Cornwall, an iconic horticultural and ecological complex, and the National Space Centre in Leicester, both significant contemporary landmarks. Which unit of measurement is defined as being exactly 1852 meters? Nautical mile. A nautical mile is a unit of length used primarily in maritime and aviation navigation. It is precisely defined as 1852 meters and is approximately equivalent to 1 minute of arc of latitude along any meridian. Who was Pope during the Second World War? Pius XII. Pope Pius XII, born Eugenio Maria Giuseppe Giovanni Pacelli, served as the head of the Catholic Church from 1939 until his death in 1958. His papacy thus encompassed the entirety of World War II, 1939 to 1945, a period marked by global conflict and profound humanitarian challenges. Apart from Rome and Riga, which other European capital city begins with the letter R? Reykjavik. Reykjavik is the capital and largest city of Iceland, situated on Faxaflói Bay. It holds the distinction of being the world's northernmost capital of a sovereign state and serves as the core of Icelandic culture, economy, and government. In the eastern part of which arm of the Mediterranean Sea is the Greek island of Corfu located? Ionian Sea. Corfu is a prominent Greek island situated in the Ionian Sea, an elongated arm of the Mediterranean. The Ionian Sea lies between southern Italy, Albania, and Greece, and is renowned for its deep waters and rich historical significance in European culture. Which insulating material is described as comprising two incombustible, chemical-resistant fibrous mineral forms of impure magnesium silicate, primarily utilized for fireproofing, electrical insulation, building materials, brake linings, and chemical filters? Asbestos. Asbestos refers to a group of naturally occurring fibrous silicate minerals known for their remarkable heat resistance and insulating capabilities. While widely used in industrial applications such as fireproofing and insulation, its use has been largely restricted globally due to severe health risks, particularly lung diseases, associated with inhaling its fibers. Besides Monaco, Madrid, and Moscow, which other European capital city begins with the letter M? Minsk. Minsk is the capital and largest city of Belarus, a landlocked country located in Eastern Europe. It serves as a significant administrative, economic, and cultural hub for the region, notable for its Soviet-era architecture largely rebuilt after World War II. Which French word, also sharing its name with a model of Rolls-Royce car, is used to describe a road that runs along the side of a cliff or mountain? Corniche. A corniche is a road built into the side of a cliff or mountain, typically offering panoramic views. The term is of French origin and is associated with scenic roads, often found along coasts or in mountainous regions. Designed in 1873 in the USA, which lever-action rifle, later released in several different models, earned the nickname, the gun that won the West. Winchester. The Winchester rifle, particularly the model 1873, was a highly popular and influential lever-action repeating rifle in the American Old West. Its reliability and rapid firing capabilities contributed significantly to its legendary status during that era. Which American author wrote the 1971 book, The Exorcist? William Peter Blatty. William Peter Blatty was an American writer and filmmaker, renowned for his 1971 horror novel, The Exorcist. The book became a cultural phenomenon and was later adapted into an iconic and highly successful film in 1973, for which Blatty also penned the screenplay. What 8-letter word names the test performed to diagnose color blindness? Ishihara. The Ishihara test is a widely used color perception test for detecting red-green color vision deficiencies, commonly known as color blindness. It consists of pseudoisochromatic plates, where numbers or patterns are embedded in a field of colored dots, visible only to those with normal color vision. Living from 1814 to 1862, what was the first name of the American inventor famous for the Colt revolver? Samuel. Samuel Colt was a pioneering American inventor and industrialist, best known for his invention of the Colt revolver. His innovative development of interchangeable parts and assembly line production revolutionized firearm manufacturing and had a profound impact on industrial practices. What 7-letter word is the name of the chart containing letters of various sizes commonly found in doctors' offices for eyesight tests? Snellen. The Snellen chart is a standard eye chart used to measure visual acuity, typically found in ophthalmologists' and optometrists' offices. Developed by Dutch ophthalmologist Herman Snellen in the 1860s, it presents lines of block letters of decreasing size to determine a person's sharpness of vision. What was the name of the famous jazz music nightclub in Harlem, New York City, that operated as a white-only establishment between 1923 and 1940, attracting artists like Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and Nat King Cole? Cotton Club. The Cotton Club was a legendary jazz nightclub in Harlem, New York City, prominent during the Prohibition era and the Great Depression. It showcased many of the era's greatest black entertainers, though its audience and management were predominantly white, contributing significantly to the cultural landscape of the jazz age. Built in 1889, what is the name of the cabaret club in Paris, famous as the venue where the modern form of the cancan dance originated? Moulin Rouge. The Moulin Rouge, an iconic Parisian cabaret established in 1889, is renowned for its vibrant entertainment and is the birthplace of the modern cancan dance. Located in the Montmartre district, it embodies the spirit of Belle Epoque Paris and its rich cultural history. Born in Armagh on April 6, 1928, what is the more famous name of the politician and former church minister also known as Baron Bansight? Ian Paisley. Ian Paisley was a significant figure in Northern Irish politics, a Protestant evangelical minister who founded the Democratic Unionist Party, DUP. Born in 1928, he served as the First Minister of Northern Ireland and was later elevated to the peerage as Baron Bansight, playing a crucial role in the peace process. Which theatre, situated in Salford and opened in the year 2000, is named after a British painter who lived from 1887 to 1976? Lowry. The Lowry is a distinctive theatre and art gallery complex located in Salford Quays, England, named in honour of the British artist L.S. Lowry. Lowry, 1887 to 1976, was celebrated for his unique landscape paintings of industrial northern England, characterized by his depictions of factories, urban scenes, and matchstick men figures. Which former president of the National Union of Mine Workers was revealed to have been a police informer after his death in 1993? Joe Gormley. Joe Gormley was a prominent leader in the British trade union movement, serving as president of the National Union of Mine Workers, NUM. His posthumous revelation in 1993 as a police informer caused widespread shock and debate, casting a shadow over his legacy within the Labour community. Which Lord Protector of England, Scotland, and Ireland, born in 1626, bore the nickname, Tumbledown Dick? Richard Cromwell. Richard Cromwell, the eldest son of Oliver Cromwell, briefly succeeded his father as Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland in 1658. His weak leadership and inability to maintain control led to his resignation and the collapse of the Protectorate, earning him the derisive nickname, Tumbledown Dick. Which Labour Party politician, who took over as president of the National Union of Mine Workers from Arthur Scargill in 2002 and held the position until 2010, is now aged 50? Ian Lavery. Ian Lavery is a British Labour Party politician who served as president of the National Union of Mine Workers, NUM, from 2002 to 2010, succeeding the long-serving Arthur Scargill. He later became a member of parliament, representing Wansbeck, and held positions in the shadow cabinet. Born in Belfast in 1948, the name of which former member of Sinn Féin translates into Irish as Gearóid Mac Adhim. Gerry Adams. Gerry Adams, born in Belfast in 1948, is a highly influential Irish Republican politician and former leader of Sinn Féin. His Irish name, Gearóid Mac Adhim, reflects his significant role in the nationalist movement and the Northern Ireland peace process. Which theatre in Manchester shares its name with the Greek god, son of Zeus and Leto, and twin brother of Artemis? Apollo. The Apollo Theatre in Manchester is a prominent venue known for hosting concerts and live events. Its name derives from Apollo, a significant deity in Greek and Roman mythology, revered as the god of music, poetry, light, healing, and archery. Which British monarch, born in 1765, was famously nicknamed the Sailor King? William IV. William IV reigned as King of the United Kingdom and Hanover from 1830 to 1837. Prior to his accession, he served extensively in the Royal Navy, earning him the affectionate nickname, the Sailor King. In which city, during a G8 meeting in July 2006, did US President George W. Bush famously utter the words, "Yo Blair, how are you doing?" St. Petersburg. The informal greeting, "Yo Blair, how are you doing?" by US President George W. Bush to UK Prime Minister Tony Blair occurred at the G8 summit in St. Petersburg, Russia, in July 2006. This candid exchange, caught on an open microphone, provided a rare glimpse into the personal interactions between world leaders. Named for its meaning, Swift Caesar, which dinosaur was approximately 6 feet 5 inches in length, possessed long curved claws for grasping prey, and walked on 2 legs? Velociraptor. Velociraptor, whose name means Swift Caesar in Latin, was a genus of dromaeosaurid theropod dinosaur that lived approximately 75 to 71 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. It was characterized by its bipedal locomotion, sharp claws, and predatory nature. With a name meaning winged finger, which flying reptile was described as a long, slender, powerful creature with long narrow jaws, sharp teeth, and a wingspan of approximately 3 feet 3 inches? Pterodactyl. Pterodactylus, commonly referred to as pterodactyl, was a genus of pterosaurs, flying reptiles that lived during the late Jurassic period. Its name, meaning winged finger, refers to the single long finger that supported its wing membrane. What was the maiden name of William Shakespeare's mother? Arden. William Shakespeare's mother was Mary Arden. She was the daughter of Robert Arden, a wealthy farmer from Wilmcote, and her marriage to John Shakespeare significantly contributed to the family's social standing. Who was the first US president of the 20th century, serving in office from March 4, 1897, until September 14, 1901? William McKinley. William McKinley was the 25th President of the United States, serving from 1897 until his assassination in September 1901. He led the nation during the Spanish-American War and annexed territories such as Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. What was the Christian name of William Shakespeare's father? John. John Shakespeare was William Shakespeare's father, a successful glover and alderman in Stratford-upon-Avon. He held various civic positions, including bailiff, mayor, of the town. Who was the first US president of the 19th century, serving in office from March 4, 1797, until March 4, 1801? John Adams. John Adams, the second President of the United States, served from 1797 to 1801. Although his term began in the late 18th century, he was the first US president whose term concluded in the 19th century, representing a crucial period in early American history. Which stage musical, featuring music by Claude Michel Schoenberg, concludes with the emotional song, "Do You Hear the People Sing"? Les Miserables. Les Miserables is a world-renowned musical based on Victor Hugo's 1862 novel. Its powerful score by Claude Michel Schoenberg and Alan Bublé includes the iconic anthem, "Do You Hear the People Sing", which has become a symbol of revolution and hope globally. The Taklamakan Desert, covering an area exceeding 130,000 square miles and being the largest desert entirely within a single country, is located in which nation? China. The Taklamakan Desert is a large sand desert in Central Asia, specifically located within the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of China. It is known for its extreme temperatures and treacherous conditions, bordered by the Kunlun, Pamir, and Tian Shan mountain ranges. In Greek mythology, besides Medusa, name either of the other two Gorgons. Euryale, Stheno. In Greek mythology, the Gorgons were three monstrous sisters, Stheno, Euryale, and Medusa. Medusa is the most famous, known for her snakes for hair and ability to turn observers to stone, while her sisters were immortal. Which European capital city was historically known as Christiania? Oslo. Oslo, the capital of Norway, was known as Christiania, and various spellings like Christiania, for over 300 years, from 1624 until 1925. The city was renamed in honor of King Christian IV of Denmark and Norway after a devastating fire in 1624 prompted its reconstruction. Which Welsh writer's purported last words were, "I've had 18 straight whiskies. I think that's the record"? Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas was a renowned Welsh poet and writer, famous for works like, "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night," and "Under Milkwood." His often quoted last words reflect his bohemian lifestyle and tragic early death in 1953, attributed to an alcoholic excess. By what collective name were the aristocratic eccentrics Lady Eleanor Butler and Miss Sarah Ponsonby known in the 18th century, referring to the North Wales town where they resided? The Ladies of Llangollen. Lady Eleanor Butler and Miss Sarah Ponsonby, known as the Ladies of Llangollen, were an Anglo-Irish couple who famously eloped to Llangollen, North Wales, in 1778. They lived a celebrated unconventional life together, attracting visits from numerous notable figures of their time, including Wordsworth and Shelley. What is the name of the principle stating that work expands to fill the time available? Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law, coined by Cyril Northcote Parkinson in 1955, is an observation about bureaucracy and the efficiency of work. It states that tasks will take as long as the time allotted for them, regardless of their actual complexity or necessity, often leading to wasted time. Which commonly used acid is represented by the chemical formula hydrogen nitrate? Nitric acid. Nitric acid, hydrogen nitrate, is a highly corrosive mineral acid with various industrial applications, including the production of fertilizer, explosives, and in metallurgical processes. It is a strong oxidizing agent. What type of animal is a muntjac? Deer. Muntjacs, also known as barking deer, are small deer species native to South and Southeast Asia. They are notable for their unique vocalizations resembling a dog's bark and are among the oldest known deer species. Which European city was significantly destroyed by a major earthquake in 1755? Lisbon. The Great Lisbon Earthquake of November 1, 1755, was one of the most powerful and destructive earthquakes in European history. It devastated the city of Lisbon, Portugal, causing widespread destruction, tsunamis, and fires, and profoundly influenced Enlightenment philosophy and urban planning. Who co-authored the Communist Manifesto with Karl Marx? Friedrich Engels. The Communist Manifesto, published in 1848, is a foundational text of communism, outlining the class struggle and the problems of capitalism. It was written by German philosophers Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, becoming one of the most influential political manuscripts in history. In which calendar year did all the following events occur? The death of Alfred Hitchcock, the election of Ronald Reagan as President of the USA, and the hosting of the Summer Olympic Games in Moscow? 1980. The year 1980 was marked by several globally significant events. Legendary filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock passed away, Ronald Reagan was elected as the 40th President of the USA, and the Summer Olympic Games were held in Moscow, notably boycotted by the USA and many other Western nations due to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Which chemical element is represented by the symbol C and has an atomic number of 6? Carbon. Carbon is a fundamental element of life, forming the backbone of organic molecules. Its atomic number, 6, indicates it has 6 protons in its nucleus, defining its unique chemical properties as a versatile building block for compounds. Which body of water, though not officially termed a lake, is generally considered the westernmost in the English Lake District? Ennerdale Water. Ennerdale Water is a glacial lake located in Cumbria, England, within the Lake District National Park. It is notable for its remote and wild character, being the westernmost of the major lakes in the district and a significant natural landmark. In Greek mythology, what concept did the Titaness Mnemosyne personify? Memory. Mnemosyne was one of the 12 Titan children of Uranus and Gaia, representing memory in Greek mythology. She was also the mother of the 9 muses, who inspired arts and sciences, thus linking memory to creativity and knowledge. Who assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914? Gavrilo Princip. Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist, assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie. This event in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914, is widely regarded as the immediate trigger for the outbreak of World War I. Which European capital city's modern layout is largely attributed to the urban planning efforts of Baron Haussmann? Paris. Baron Georges Eugene Haussmann was a prefect of Seine under Napoleon III. He undertook a massive public works program in Paris between 1853 and 1870, creating the city's iconic wide boulevards, parks, and uniform building facades, fundamentally transforming its urban landscape. Which social media platform was co-founded in 2006 by Jack Dorsey, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams? Twitter. Twitter, now known as X, was launched in 2006 as a microblogging and social networking service. Co-founded by Jack Dorsey, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams, it quickly became a global platform for real-time information sharing and public discourse. What type of fish is a megamouth? Shark. The megamouth shark, Megachasma pelagios, is a rare species of deep-water shark, first discovered in 1976. It is a filter feeder, swimming with its mouth open to strain plankton and small fish from the water. Which commission published its report on the assassination of President Kennedy on September 17, 1964? Warren Commission. The Warren Commission was established by President Lyndon B. Johnson to investigate the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Its final report concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in assassinating the president. What is the clinical word for the navel or belly button? Umbilicus. The umbilicus is the medical term for the navel, commonly known as the belly button. It is a scar on the abdomen, present in placental mammals, resulting from the detachment of the umbilical cord after birth. Arrecife is the capital of which of the Canary Islands? Lanzarote. Arrecife is the capital city of Lanzarote, one of the Canary Islands, an autonomous community of Spain. Lanzarote is renowned for its unique volcanic landscape and is a popular tourist destination. Which British-born aviatrix is credited with being the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic from east to west? Beryl Markham. Beryl Markham was a pioneering aviatrix, adventurer, and racehorse trainer. In 1936, she became the first woman to fly solo non-stop across the Atlantic from east to west, a more challenging feat due to prevailing headwinds. Often seen in Africa and the Middle East, the mechanism known as a shadoof is used for what purpose? Raising water. A shadoof, or shajoof, is an ancient hand-operated device used for lifting water, particularly for irrigation. It consists of a long pole with a bucket on one end and a counterweight on the other, pivoted on a frame, widely used in agriculture. Coir is the name given to the fiber from which fruit? Coconut. Coir is a natural fiber extracted from the husk of coconuts, specifically from the fibrous material between the hard internal shell and the outer coat. It is used in products such as floor mats, brushes, and is a growing medium in horticulture. The term, time immemorial, was set as the period before the reign of which English king? Richard I. In English common law, time immemorial refers to a period so ancient that no evidence to the contrary exists. Legally, this period was traditionally defined as commencing before the first year of the reign of King Richard I, 1189, particularly for establishing ancient rites or customs. In Roman mythology, who was the guardian of gates and doors? Janus. Janus is the Roman god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, and endings. He is usually depicted as having two faces, looking to the future and to the past. The month of January is named after him. For which ancient ruler was the mausoleum at Halicarnassus built? Mausolus. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was a grand tomb built for Mausolus, a satrap in the Achaemenid Empire, and his wife Artemisia II of Caria. It was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, renowned for its architectural grandeur and elaborate sculptures. The term, mausoleum, itself derives from his name. Which Australian landmark is colloquially known as the coat hanger? Sydney Harbour Bridge. The Sydney Harbour Bridge is an iconic steel arch bridge spanning Sydney Harbour, carrying rail, vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian traffic between the Sydney Central Business District and the North Shore. Its distinctive arch shape has earned it the nickname, the coat hanger. It is a significant global landmark and a major tourist attraction. Which Australian landmark is also known as Uluru? Ayers Rock. Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock, is a large sandstone monolith in the heart of the Northern Territory of Australia. It is sacred to the Pitjantjatjara Anangu, the Aboriginal people of the area, and is a prominent landmark, recognized for its striking red color and cultural significance. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The statue of Zeus, sculpted by Phidias, was located at which site in Greece? Olympia. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was a colossal seated figure, approximately 13 meters, 43 feet, tall, made by the Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BC. It was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, housed in the Temple of Zeus at Olympia, the site of the ancient Olympic Games. Which island group in the Indian Ocean known as a popular tourist destination, has Victoria as its capital city? Seychelles. Seychelles is an archipelago nation in the Indian Ocean, comprising 115 islands. Its capital city is Victoria, located on the island of Mahé. Known for its pristine beaches, coral reefs, and nature reserves, Seychelles is a major global tourist destination. Which historical sport, known as jeu de paume in France, is still played at Hampton Court Palace? Real tennis. Real tennis, or jeu de paume, is an ancient racket sport from which modern tennis evolved. Hampton Court Palace in England is one of the few places worldwide where this historic sport, popular among European royalty, continues to be played today. The American microbiologist Albert Bruce Sabin is renowned for his invention of a vaccine, commonly known by his name, for which once widespread condition? Polio. Albert Bruce Sabin developed the oral polio vaccine, OPV, which was instrumental in the global effort to eradicate poliomyelitis. His work, alongside Jonas Salk's inactivated polio vaccine, IPV, transformed public health by providing effective immunization against this debilitating disease. In traditional Indian households, what term denoted a primitive type of ceiling fan consisting of a large flap of cloth operated by a rope? A punkah. A punkah was an early form of manual air conditioning used widely in India, particularly during the British colonial era. It consisted of a large cloth panel suspended from the ceiling, manually swung by a punkah waller, to create a breeze. Who was the last US astronaut to undertake a solo space mission? Gordon Cooper. Gordon Cooper was an American astronaut who completed 22 orbits around Earth on the Mercury Atlas 9, Faith 7, mission in 1963. He was the last American to fly into space alone, marking the conclusion of the Mercury program before the advent of multi-person spacecraft. Name the only English monarch who belonged to the House of Blois. Stephen. Stephen was King of England from 1135 to 1154 and is the sole English monarch from the House of Blois. His reign was largely consumed by a civil war known as the Anarchy, fought against Empress Matilda for control of the English throne. Who composed the orchestral work, Carnival of the Animals, in 1886? Saintsaens. Camille Saint-Saëns, a prominent French composer, created The Carnival of the Animals in 1886. This humorous musical suite is renowned for its vivid and often satirical musical portrayals of various animals, making it a popular piece for both adults and children. Which French phrase commonly used in English literally means, bottom of the bag? Cul-de-sac. The phrase, cul-de-sac, is a French loanword that literally translates to, bottom of the bag. In English, it refers to a street or passage closed at one end, typically with a circular area for vehicles to turn around, and is a common term in urban planning. Queen Anne was the second daughter of which king? James II. Queen Anne, the last monarch of the Stuart dynasty, reigned from 1702 to 1714 over the Kingdom of England, Scotland, and Ireland. She was the second daughter of King James II, who was deposed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. What is the main currency unit of Hungary? Forint. The Hungarian forint, HUF, is the official currency of Hungary. It was introduced in 1946, replacing the hyperinflated pengo, and remains the primary medium of exchange in the country. What does a candela measure? Luminous intensity. The candela, CD, is the SI base unit of luminous intensity, a measure of the power emitted by a light source in a particular direction, weighted by the luminosity function. It is a fundamental photometric unit crucial in fields like lighting design and optical engineering. At his own request, which writer's autobiography was published in 2010, 100 years after his death? Mark Twain. Mark Twain's autobiography was published in its entirety in 2010, exactly 100 years after his death, fulfilling his explicit instructions. Twain, whose real name was Samuel Clemens, was a renowned American writer, humorist, entrepreneur, publisher, and lecturer. The Egyptian god Anubis has the head of what type of creature? Jackal. Anubis is the ancient Egyptian god of mummification and the afterlife, often depicted with the head of a jackal. He played a critical role as a guide for the dead through the underworld and was associated with embalming rituals and protecting graves. Henrietta Maria of France was queen consort of which English monarch? Charles I. Henrietta Maria of France was the queen consort of King Charles I of England, Scotland, and Ireland, whom she married in 1625. Her Catholic faith caused considerable tension within the predominantly Protestant English court and contributed to the conflicts leading to the English Civil War. Which lines on a map connect points with equal atmospheric pressure? Isobars. Isobars are lines on a weather map connecting points of equal atmospheric pressure. They are crucial in meteorology for forecasting weather patterns, as their spacing indicates wind speed and direction, with closer lines signifying stronger winds. Which eating disorder is named after the Greek for ox hunger? Bulimia. Bulimia nervosa is an eating disorder characterized by episodes of binge eating followed by compensatory behaviors such as purging or excessive exercise. Its name originates from Greek words, bus, ox, and limos, hunger, literally meaning ox hunger, reflecting the intense hunger experienced. The triskelion is used as the symbol for which part of the British Isles? Isle of Man. The triskelion, a symbol composed of three bent legs joined at the thigh, is the ancient emblem of the Isle of Man. It represents the island's motto, Quoking Jesseris Stabut, meaning, whithersoever you throw it, it will stand, symbolizing resilience and stability.